Iron Man, a genius, billionaire, but let's be honest, for a man who built a suit to perfection, his biggest flaw lives inside it. Even though he's a perfectionist who regularly upgrades his tech to remove any weakness, one well-placed electromagnetic pulse can turn the world's smartest Avenger into a man trapped in a metal coffin. In the comics, this flaw was first exposed in Iron Man Volume 2, Number 1, back in 2001, when an EMP blast crippled his suit mid-flight. The system rebooted just in time to save him, but it proved that no matter how advanced his technology gets, it's still bound by physics. He barely survived, but that moment, it haunted him, because even the genius that is Tony Stark can't outbuild physics. And the worst part, his own tech can betray him. Remember Spider-Man Far From Home when his drone network was hijacked and turned against Peter? That's Tony's greatest fear. The day his creation stopped listening. Heat melts circuits, pressure crushes metal, nanotech breaks down. But it's not just about the armor failing, it's what that failure means to Tony. Doctor Strange. For someone who literally bends reality, you'd think Doctor Strange is untouchable, right? But Strange's ultimate weakness lies in anti-magic artifacts and ruins of nullification, tools designed to cancel his connection to the mystic realms. In Doctor Strange number 48, 1981, Baron Mordo traps him inside a realm where magic doesn't exist. No spells, no cloak, no Eye of Agamotto. Just Stephen Strange, a man stripped bare, powerless, and painfully human. That's the price of being the Sorcerer Supreme. His power isn't muscle or armor, it's access to magic. Cut that connection, and he's fragile, breakable. And it gets worse. There's Mysterium, a mystical metal that doesn't just resist his power, it severs it. One cut from it, and poof, the magic's gone. Because without magic, he isn't the Sorcerer Supreme anymore. He's just Stephen Strange, the surgeon who can't heal himself. Black Panther, Wakanda's king, wears the most advanced armor on Earth. Woven from pure vibranium, it absorbs bullets, explosions, and even kinetic blasts, but even perfection has a frequency that can shatter it. Hit it with the right tonic frequency, and it collapses. His suit's energy field destabilizes, leaving him exposed, vulnerable, and human again. This flaw isn't new. In Black Panther Volume 3, Number 7 in 1999, Claw used sonic-based weapons to pierce the armor's vibranium weave. He struck along the grain of the fabric. Microscopic seams invisible to the eye, but deadly if hit just right. Sound familiar? The MCU brought it full circle. In Black Panther the movie in 2018, during his final fight with Killmonger, both suits are hit with sonic disruptors. Their armor stripped away. No vibranium, no tech, just two kings fighting as men. Deadpool. Deadpool's body is a miracle of madness, but even he isn't untouchable. His biggest weakness, not a god, not a weapon from space, is Carbonadium, a rare radioactive metal built to shut down healing factors. In Deadpool Volume 2, Number 44 in 2000, Carbonadium blades sliced through him, and for once, Wade couldn't joke it away. His healing slowed to a crawl. His body started poisoning itself faster than it could recover. For a man who can't die, that's the closest thing to hell. And we've seen it on screen too. In Deadpool 2, that mutant suppression collar turned off his powers completely. No regeneration, no quips, just Wade Wilson bleeding, breaking, and remembering what it feels like to be human again. But his other vulnerability isn't made of metal, it's magic. In Daredevil number 304, 1992, Loki cursed Deadpool to look like Tom Cruise as a cosmic joke, proving that divine or mystical interference can override his regenerative powers entirely. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's Hellfire burns through sin, metal, and monsters, but there's one thing it cannot stand against: divine light. Powered by Mephisto's curse, the spirit of vengeance is nearly unstoppable, unless it faces something holy. Holy relics, blessed weapons, and angelic energy can sear through his infernal form. In Ghost Rider Volume 3, Number 64 in 1995, the Archangel Zedkiel's divine flames overpowered Johnny Blaze's Hellfire, stripping the rider of his strength. This balance between heaven and hell runs through every version of Ghost Rider. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in 2016, Robbie Ryer's rider form is subdued by containment spells drawn from ancient sanctums. Even his own chairs, forged in the fires of hell, can be turned against him when blessed by divine power. His curse gives him infinite rage, but also eternal vulnerability. The spirit of vengeance is feared by demons and mortals alike, but in the face of heaven's light, even hellfire burns out. Blade. Blade is a paradox wrapped in leather and rage, blessed with vampire strength, cursed with vampire hunger. His biggest weakness, silver, the oldest weapon ever forged against creatures of the night. In Tomb of Dracula number 10, 1973, his first appearance, moments, silver-tipped blades slice into his flesh, burning him from the inside out. Even sunlight doesn't scare him, but silver, that poisons his blood. It scorches his hybrid cells, and that weakness carried straight into the movies. Remember Blade 1998? Silver nitrate bullets, blessed water, holy fire. His body resists it, but divine burns still scar him. They remind him he's not invincible, just surviving longer than most. But there's more. His power depends on blood balance. Starve him too long, and his reflexes fade, his strength drops, and the thirst takes control. The very monster he hunts starts whispering from within. And here's the cruel part. The weapons he built to kill vampires, silver stakes, UV rounds, holy water, can kill him too. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's power comes from the moon god Khonshu, and that's exactly what makes him fragile. Mark Spector, Jake Lockley, and Stephen Grant are all avatars of Khonshu's will. When that divine link is broken, so is their strength. In Moon Knight Volume Number 1, 1980, this bond was first defined. Khonshu grants Mark supernatural endurance and lunar-enhanced strength, but without that blessing, he's just a man with broken bones and fractured minds. In the MCU's Moon Knight TV show in 2022, this weakness becomes painfully clear. When Khonshu is imprisoned by the gods, Mark loses his powers instantly. His suit vanishes, his body bruises, and his healing stops. Khonshu's power is also tied to the moon itself. The less light it reflects, the weaker Moon Knight becomes, a literal ebb and flow of strength that mirrors his unstable psyche. Take away his god, and the fist of vengeance becomes nothing more than a mortal man seeking purpose in the dark. Groot. In the comics, Groot may look immortal, a walking forest with a heart of gold. Groot's body isn't indestructible, it's alive, and fire is his oldest, deadliest enemy. In Tales to Astonish number 13 in 1960, Groot's very first story, his invasion of Earth didn't end with some epic battle, it ended with fire and termite sprays. His bark caught fast, his sap became fuel, and no amount of regeneration could save him from total incineration. Decades later, in Annihilation Conquest Star-Lord in 2007, it happened again. Groot was obliterated in an explosion, reduced to ash. He only lived because Rocket Raccoon saved a single splinter, the last piece capable of regrowth. And it's not just fire. Without water, Groot withers. In dry worlds or acid storms, his wooden body cracks, roots, and fades. Strength crumbling into splinters. He doesn't heal, he regrows. Human Torch. Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, burns brighter than a star, but here's the cruel twist. For all that heat, his weakness is painfully simple. Fire needs air. In Fantastic Four number 9 in 1962, Namor drags Johnny deep underwater. Within seconds, his flames vanish. His power gone. The world's hottest hero becomes just a man gasping for breath. Proof that even fire depends on something as fragile as oxygen. Later comics hammer that truth even harder. Extreme cold, the vacuum of space, even chemical foam. All of them can smother his fire in an instant. And in Fantastic Four Annual number 3, 1965, the Wizard took it a step further, building tech that neutralized Johnny's plasma field completely. One moment he's untouchable, the next terrified and powerless. Even his deadliest move, the supernova burst, is suicide in disguise. Push it too far and his own heat burns him alive. It's a cruel paradox. The brighter Johnny burns, the closer he gets to burning out. That's only some of the MCU's most powerful heroes. So tell me, which superhero weakness should we uncover next in part 2?